Hello, hello, YouTube friends. This is Richard, and we're coming to you live from the studio. Charles and I have been working, a lot of time and energy going into the membership class. I'm here to answer any questions you may have. We thought we'd do it live because that way it can be more interactive. But tomorrow, which is Thursday the 31st, we're going to be releasing a video in the afternoon. It's going to be all of the things that you may want to know and more, so keep an eye out for that video. In the meantime, we just wanted to express, one, how pumped and excited we are. We know this is really incredible content, the best content we've ever created, and I just want to address that. What this membership is not just content. The content is really important. We're creating a course that's really valuable, step by step, very granular, what you need to do, how to do it, things that I do, things that have worked for me. So it's very, very detailed and granular, but that's not the only thing that the membership is, right? There's really 4 C's to this. The first one is the content that we just talked about. There's a course, and then also special videos that we're creating that are just not appropriate for YouTube. They're either way too lengthy or way too granular or way too detailed. And so we just haven't really done that. But now we are doing that. So there's the content component of it, both in terms of specific videos and instructional things, very granular. And then there's also experts that are going to offer coaching. That's the second C. And so we're working with all sorts of experts in everything that you can imagine that has to do with real estate, that has to do with entrepreneurialism, that has to do with getting yourself physically fit and mentally fit, because being an entrepreneur is challenging. And so we're bringing those experts to help guide you and instruct and create content, as well as also coach. There's going to be a real community where there's going to be a lot of coaching and question asking and sharing. In the Masters is a thing that we're filming right now. We're talking about P&L and budget and line items and chart of accounts, and we're going to share that. I'm going to share with you in the Masters group, the people, sort of what my accounting looks like and how I get it done, and specifically what I do and what I look for. And I'm going to encourage others to share. If you need to hide the numbers, then hide the numbers. But let's start to get a baseline of what each of us spend in terms of marketing, and what each of us spend in terms of cleaning, and what each of us spend in terms of repairs and landscaping. And let's get all of our group thinking together so that we learn from one another. And I might think I'm doing really well in my landscaping budget, but when I see 47 other people that have much lower percentages, like half of 1% of rental income goes to lawn cutting, that's going to get me thinking, wow, am I overspending, and how can I save money on that? Let me go interview 3 or 4 people for landscaping so that I bring my costs down. Whereas in the past, you may have just been comfortable with who you use and perhaps complacent, but if we're really trying to grow our business, then every cent counts. We have a question, or I have to move back? What's going on? Scoot back a little bit. I've got my director, Charles, behind the camera helping here. And so the point being, you're getting the content, you're getting the coaching, you're getting the community that we're talking about, and I'm encouraging everybody to share not only questions and answers, but also figures, revenue, dollars, cents, budget, line items, so that we have a baseline of what's working for other people, and we'll start to really grow and expand on that, so over time our businesses grow. And then the fourth thing that the membership offers is a buyer's club. We know that all of us coming together, we offer a very attractive group for vendors and software sales and so on, and we're going to work together to create a buyer's club so that we all receive not only the best products, but the best products at a discount versus what we could get them at individually. And so we're sitting here and have been for the entire month of November, planning, strategizing, filming, creating, analyzing, doing everything we possibly can to make sure that this is a exceptional home run of an experience for everyone who participates day one. My gut tells me, based on the number of signups that we've had, and if you haven't signed up, go ahead and sign up. It's www.str.university/notify, and you'll receive an email when we go live, which is at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, December 1st, and we're really excited about that. I think we're going to be oversubscribed based on the numbers that we've been receiving, which is really cool. We're going to limit the offering. We're going to have 100 people in the bachelor's class, and we're going to have 50 people in the master's class, and we're going to self-select. We want the people that are most excited, most eager, first to sign up, the people that raise their hand and say, hey, help me, I really want to do this and I want to invest my time and my energy and my money, so Richard, please help me. And that's sort of the point. I want to help the people that want to be helped. I want to spend my time and energy in people that are going to grow. I want to spend my time and energy in a community that's optimistic and upbeat and entrepreneurial. I don't want any like complaining or any of that like negative stuff that seems to be so prevalent in the internet. This is upbeat, this is positive, this is we can do it. There's adversity, we recognize and we overcome. And so I'm really, really personally excited to help grow you, because I know doing so is going to help grow me and our community. And the membership, I think, solves all of that. And the most important thing about the membership, you may be asking, is like, why do it and why charge for it? And it's really simple. I want to treat Short-Term Rental University like any other one of my businesses, and it must stand on its own 2 feet. It has to have some income generated so that it's sustainable and repeatable, and we can do it for a very long time, and we can invest in better technologies and do bigger things like a conference I want to do in 2018, probably Q3, Q4. I want to have the single best conference in and around short-term rentals. I want to actually do something pretty cool and innovative. I've told a few people about it. Everyone thinks I'm sort of like crazy, but you know what? We're going to do this. It's going to happen. So we're going to pick a city where Airbnb is embraced. We're going to spend our tax dollars and we're going to vote with our feet, and we're going to do this in a community where Airbnb is like welcome and invited and they actually embrace it. And we're going to go there and we're going to have experts lined up in advance. We're going to have some deals identified. So we're going to take a look at a bunch of single family homes or apartments or whatever. And we're going to have a few different deals lined up. And my goal is to make that conference actionable. How many conferences have you been to where you hear all these great marketing ideas and strategies and suggestions, and then you go home and you get really like tied up in like the granular work and kids and family, and like you never actually do anything with it? Well, my goal is to find some like-minded people that say, I want to grow my business and I'm going to join into like and participate in a partnership. And so we're going to have a few deals lined up, teed up, and we're going to actually buy, hopefully 2, 3 properties, different joint ventures. And so if you want to grow your business, now you can participate as a limited partner in some of these. And that's sort of the way I'm approaching the actionable action item of the conference. But all of this takes money. I think I'm being asked to put up over $50,000 to secure a venue and block of hotel rooms and food and beverage and so on. And so the members are going to be the people, the charter members are going to be the people that help create that opportunity for everyone else. And we're going to give you a little special thank you in the way of some free swag. We're going to give you a special thank you at the conference in terms of a discounted ticket. And we're also going to give you a little celebratory party. Thank you for being you, and we really appreciate it. So that's a little bit about what's going on right here, right now. Wednesday, November 30th, we've got, 36 hours to go before we go live. And as always, even though we've planned accordingly and scheduled enough time, our ideas get bigger and grander, and we want to do more, and we're behind the gun, and we're going to get it done, and we're really excited and pumped. And Charles has his work cut out editing some stuff, and I've got my work cut out getting more granular and screenshots and more helpful, and that's what's going on. So welcome to our life. Anyway, I'm going to pause now. Charles, do we have any questions?
Let's open it up about questions if anyone has any.
Okay, so now we're going to open it up to questions. If anybody has any questions or comments, please go ahead. Charles is going to be like reading them out loud. In fact, I don't even know how many people have joined us. I'm looking at a black back of a phone.
Don't
here.
worry about it.
Okay, I'm being told not to worry about it. How's that?
Yeah, first one. Lauren would like to learn more about the local legality of short-term rentals. Unless you live there, how can you find out if it's legal or friendly?
Okay, so Lauren wants to know about regulatory issues, and I'm going to go on the record, as I've said before, that regulation is actually a friend of ours. So the more regulation there is, the more that we know what the law is, and the more we can comply with the law and use it to our advantage. When you talk about having to live there, this is a big misnomer, and I've tried to discredit it before, but people say all the time that they can't do Airbnb because it's not allowed in their HOA, or it's not allowed in their community, or it's not allowed in their city. And what I would suggest to you is, well, then pick a place where it is allowed. Just like we're voting with our feet where the conference is going to be held, you too can invest and start your business wherever you need to. You don't have to do it in your backyard or in your apartment or in your HOA or in your city. You can pick the neighboring city. You can pick a city in a different country. In fact, I've assembled a portfolio of Airbnb rentals and HomeAway rentals all across the country, and by definition, they're not in my backyard. But I've picked places where I want to go travel and spend time where Airbnb is also legal. I'm in the process right now of buying multiple properties in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, which is very specific. Like a very significant portion of Jackson Hole properties are not legal on Airbnb. But there's what they call a map overlay, which is very specific, like geographies, very specific buildings, where Airbnb is not only legal, it's encouraged and embraced. And so guess what I'm doing? I'm buying properties only in the areas where Airbnb is legal. So, Lauren, I think it's a great question. I would encourage you to expand your horizon beyond like the physical proximity and start to find opportunity wherever it may be, because there's tons of it.
Heather says, is the membership per year or is it a one-time membership?
Heather's asking about the membership and the fees. It's a monthly membership, so you can come as you want and leave if it's not serving your purposes. We really don't want people that don't want to be here. The last thing we're trying to do is attract like the wrong people and try and convince you that it's right for you. So it's monthly, go as you will. But that said, we do offer a discount if you prepay for a year. You get 2 months free, so that eases the burden a little bit. But what I would say to you about the price is it's a very good value. I think you're going to make 5 to 10x at least. Based on what I'm charging for the bachelor's and the master's, and if I'm not doing that, then I'm not adding enough value, but I'm highly confident that I am.
She also says it sounds really exciting and encouraging. She can't wait to get on this journey.
Heather, it really is exciting and encouraging, and it's going to be a fantastic journey, and that's really worth talking about. It is a journey. It's not going to be from here and then you go straight up. There's going to be hiccups and bumps in the roads, and we're going to lose some money, and we're going to make some mistakes, and we're going to bump our head, and we're going to learn from that, and someone else is going to bump their head, and we're going to learn from that. And the point is, real estate, look, it's a long-term asset class. When you go and buy real estate, typically you get a 30-year mortgage. So if you're in this thing for quick gains, or you think you're going to make a lot of money really quickly, it's probably not a good fit. But if you are excited like Heather is, and I am, to go on this journey and say, look, I'm going to work on this thing every single day, every single week, every single month, and I'm not going to do it for like a quarter or even 1 year, but like this is going to be something that I want to do for my life. I view this community sharing as here to stay. I think it's going to be a bigger and better part of like the world. I think it's going to impact global trends on how we travel. I think millennials and like even younger, like my kids, this is their reality set. So I want to participate in this, and I want to get started. I want to do it bigger, better. I want to learn from others. I want to be part of this community. And again, it's really important, like we're upbeat, we're optimistic. We're not interested in like excuses and gripes and stuff like that. We all have bad days and we get it, but we're going to be moderating that, because if you want negativity, there's plenty of that in the rest of the world. And this isn't going to be like fake and superficial and like we're all drinking the Kool-Aid. It's life. So there will be problems, and we're going to address them head on, but we're going to address all the problems that we see with a mind towards opportunity, which is kind of like I answered Lauren's question before. If you can't do it in your community, that doesn't mean that go away and don't do this or complain about it. Let's say, well, what's happening in the next door state, the next door building, the next door country? Like, let's find opportunity because it's there.
Jesse says he just got started on Airbnb and has a few bookings. He just wants like general tips. I think the bachelor course.
Cool. Yeah. So Jesse and anyone else who's listening, if you're just getting started on this, we've created the bachelor track, which is really for people that have either never done this before or are doing it, but they're viewing it as like a side gig and just opportunistically making some more money. Maybe you're offsetting your rent or your mortgage. You're just checking out like whether this works for you, and if it is working for you, you want to make more money, because if you're doing the work, you might as well make more money, minimize your expenses, increase your profit, have more money. My gut tells me, based on the people that I've worked with, which is in the thousands at this point, if you're the right person and this is working well for you, chances are you're going to see an opportunity that you hadn't seen before. You're going to spend more time, you're going to make more money, and you might decide that this little side gig thing is more meaningful to you, and at that point you may want to upgrade into the master's, which is for people who have committed to real estate, committed to using short-term rentals as a tool towards a goal in real estate. And then if you're doing that really well, start to scale. Add a second property, a third, a fifth, a 10th. And that's sort of the point of the differentiation, because the content and how we talk about things is different if you're in a bachelor's program in college or if you're in a master's program at a university, right? Like, it's different content for different people in a different stage of their journey. One's not better or worse. You have to self-select. And you can move between the two of them. This isn't perfect. We've never done this before. This is a live experiment. I think it's going to go fabulously well, and I'm super excited to learn throughout it. But just realize that like it is a learning process for me, for you, for Charles, for everyone involved, and that's sort of the beauty of being part of like a living, breathing community, because we benefit from that.
All right, so a few more questions because we're on a
Cool.
time schedule.
Yep, a few more questions. I think we have about 10 more minutes.
So Lee says, so if I'm succeeding so far since this summer, should I do the master's program?
So Lee wants to know if he's succeeding this far. He's been doing this Lee, sorry. I don't get the benefit of seeing the spelling. But Lee says she's been doing this successfully for the summer. She wants to know whether she should do the master's or not. My gut tells me, Lee, if you're only doing this with one property, you'll probably benefit most from the bachelor's class. It's also less expensive, and you can always upgrade. But I think that the way that I think of the master's class is for people that want to be entrepreneurs. So if you have one property but your goal is to go to 2 or 5 and you really want help being an entrepreneur, that's going to be super helpful in the master's class. If you just want to optimize your current listing and make, instead of $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, or start to think about adding property over time, start with the bachelor's class.
Let me just inject this. She says I made $20,000 in 2 months.
You're doing great, Lee. $20,000 in 2 months. So my guess is, and maybe you can respond and Charles can answer this, you're probably interested in scaling this and doing this bigger and more, and perhaps even doing it as a full-time job. If that's your ambition, if you've identified that as a goal of yours, then the master's is a good place for you to be. With that kind of money, you should do as much as you can to invest in your own education, whether it's through our master's class or through attending other conferences or taking classes at a community college. But like, you're doing really well, and I encourage you to keep doing it. And I can tell you this, working for yourself and being entrepreneurial, while it's really challenging, is also really rewarding. And that's sort of the master's class.
She says yes. I think that's what she's interested in.
Cool. Well, sign up for the master's. We'd be happy to have you.
So we have like 3 or 4 questions that aren't related to the membership. Let's just answer one. Okay. And then we'll be done, I think. Okay. Unless any other membership questions come up.
So we're getting some general questions. We're going to answer one of them. But if there's more questions related to the courses and the membership, please ask them. But the general Q&A, we can do that some other time. We're just on a very limited, tight time schedule.
How can I get Airbnb TOT taxes listed separate in my bookings for my little town?
So how can I get the Airbnb taxes
listed separate in my bookings for my little town? TOT taxes.
Okay, so Airbnb basically has relationships with certain communities and municipalities and counties and so on, and they only collect taxes in certain ones. So the best way to do it, if you're not getting that in your community, is to ask them for, ask them to like look into that and get it done. Otherwise, just go ahead and include it in your description and make sure that you add the cost to your price, because you're going to be doing this legally and you want to make sure that you're collecting the taxes. Probably some of your neighbors are either not collecting it or they're just baking it into their price. Either way, just go ahead and include it in your price so that you know what you're getting on a net basis. Make sure you include that in your description. So if you say, I charge $104 per night, just say something like the nightly stay is $100, and to comply with the law, I also collect $4, which goes to the TOT, blah, blah, blah.
All right, is that it?
Any other questions on the membership? Otherwise, tomorrow in the afternoon, a detailed, comprehensive video that Charles and I have put some time and energy into to make sure that it's like expressing our sentiment, our optimism, our excitement, our enthusiasm, everything that we've worked towards is culminating and launching tomorrow. Again, we're launching with 100 spots in the short-term rental bachelor's track. We're launching with 50 spots in the master's, and the reason we're doing that is because we have more demand than that. We know some people will fall off and they just signed the list because there was no commitment. That's fine, that's cool. We really want to work with the right people. We want to get started. We want to build that foundation. At some point in the future, we may reopen. I think we will because there's a lot of demand. But what we really want is the best 150 charter members, and we're going to reward you for being a charter member, and we're going to be really appreciative, and we're going to party in the conference city. Right now it's possibly Phoenix. Maybe it's Austin. I'm still looking into the legality of Airbnb in Austin, but we're trying to find a place, and I'm also looking at it from an investment perspective because I'm going to participate personally with my own money, putting my money where my mouth is. If we're asking people to join together and partner in JV into an actionable conference, I'm going to be a participant and I'm going to be investing too. So I'm also looking at the conference location from an investment perspective. Anyway, be on the lookout for the video tomorrow. Charles is editing it. It's going to get released. It'll answer all your questions, all your concerns, and we're just pumped. It's like, you know, we've been working our butts off for a long time to get here and have the attention and build a community, and I'm so grateful and honored. And this is like that next step. Like, we're becoming a legitimate business, and we're really interested in growing the business and reinvesting in the business and using the proceeds from the membership to get more equipment and better equipment and fund research and development and start these conferences and like just giving back and growing people deeper, more granular, more specific, more action items. And again, if you don't join it, the Facebook group that you know and love and the YouTube channel that you know and love, that's not going away. We're going to continue to do that for free. But for people that really want to get granular and really improve themselves and their business and invest in themselves and their education, we want to help you because we know we can.
All right, everyone else just saying they're looking forward to the launch.
All right, guys, thank you so much.